It was good. I remember speaking to our staff the day of the game. We knew she was starting. And I said, look, the news is that she's starting, and we know she's going to go and do really well. So let's start thinking about what we might look like in the summer without her. And that's how confident we were. We literally, we obviously had thought about it before then, but that's the words I used. It was, she's starting, and she is going to do very well. And the confidence in her doing well before it happened was because this is the key for any player. She'd done the work in the off season. She come in great physical shape, mental shape, and she come out and she was one of our best performers from day one. The challenge for her, and we already spoke about it, I texted her after that game and said, hey, let me know when you come back from the clouds, because I've got a few things that you need to improve and we need to talk about it. And we caught up a day after, and she's just in this great place. When we spoke yesterday, I think my words were, you're in this great place, you put yourself there, your job is to keep you there, and we'll help whatever we can do to help keep you in this place. So really pleasing, not surprised. I think she's done the work, and now it's about doing more work that keeps her moving forward.
And practically for you guys, I mean, if she goes, if Emily goes, you guys end up at 7 going to the Olympics, and you have 18 on the roster right now. I mean, how are you going to deal with that?
I think we would have been naive to not be thinking, what if everyone goes? And the way Ali came in before the call-up, it was, we have to really think about this. We can't get caught blind. So, I think that we've known in that period we're going to have players that come and join us during that period to help us. Now, with the way that people keep doing well, we were discussing a signing just a week ago, and it was, oh geez, what if she starts doing well and goes to the Olympics as well? Like, everyone's coming in and the environment is good, and I think the staff and the players are helping each other, and everyone's performing. So we'll be prepared to get through that period. And there's various ways and options how we can be prepared. We will be. We've prepared for almost anything else. It's going to be the toughest period for us to deal with. When they all come back, I'll be the one having a tough time choosing a team, because that will be tough. But we will be ready.
And talking about just ways, I mean, what are the mechanisms? Would it be calling up some of the on-roster players to fill in more? Would it be making a midsummer signing to bring in?
I think that we'll have to look at a signing halfway through. We got to that point now, whether it's one or whether it's two. We hope that over before that period there's two options. If someone comes in during that period just before it, or we bring in one or two now to start preparing them for that period. Both of those are viable options.
And then looking ahead to Orlando, finally having a game this weekend. I mean, how excited are you to start?
Yeah, trying to hide the excitement because everyone's tight. Players that were here last week had a hard week, and this week is about making it a bit lighter and tidying up the organisation, the final bits. Players that are out of town have been travelling and had a tough camp and tough games, so we've been really light and easy today, hiding the excitement. The vibe in the meeting this morning was great, and everyone's ready to go. Tomorrow we'll get into good work and look at our offensive stuff and put a hard shift in our touches. We rest on Thursday. Players will take a day off, so we can get 2 more good days, Friday and Saturday, ahead of Sunday.
And you have only so much scouting you've been able to do on Orlando, but knowing their roster, knowing their coach, I mean, what do you think the biggest challenges that they're going to present are?
I think that they have a lot of experienced players. You look in their midfield, Becky Edwards, Caitlin Kyle, Leanne Sanderson. There's others that can play that role, but just those 3. There's a lot of experience and even some international experience. So very good individuals, and a lot of respect for the coach Tom, who I know will come into there and do a fantastic job. So it's going to be a big challenge. I think the opening game, whoever you play, is always going to be wild, and there's a lot of unknowns. For us, I think trying to make it as predictable as possible is the thing we're after. We know what we'd like to do. We know how we break teams down. We know how we stop teams, trying to stay focused on what we know. At the same time, we have to respect that they got a lot of good individuals, that we know their individual abilities. Might not know what they look like as a team. So we've got to be aware of keeping their big individuals quiet.
Are you expecting Alex Morgan to play from your preparation standpoint?
I hope to have better information by the end of the week.
You mentioned maybe making a mid-season signing. For right now, do you see adding a player to kind of start the season, or are you going to stand pat and see how things develop?
I think we're going to keep a close eye on two. I think on both options, getting someone now, getting a couple now, and that process has been there from the beginning. We've got some non-contracted players that have done very well. We've got one in particular that is shining above players that are even on contract. My guess is that's a player that will come on soon. I'm not ready to say who it is. And then we got to keep our eyes open for someone coming in the summer. You know, the European leagues. There's a lot of leagues that finish up soon, but we can't take enough. You know, there's a lot of players going to the Olympics, and we're not in a position where we can take one of them. So, keeping our options open and trusting the great process that we have in place to go through this.
So you're 18, I think the cap is 20, so you want to have some room in there. You're not in a rush to fill it to 20.
Yeah, you know, for example, there's non-contract players have done very well. We're not in a rush to jump and commit. I think one is really close, and I hope that we can get that one in at some point. I think we want quality. We want to be at a place. You can't have the players that we have in a training environment and have a drop off in the roster and a drop off in the depth. The training so fast, so intelligent, so smart. The best players we have their brain is so far ahead. We have to keep pushing and developing those players. That's why we've had a small group, and we've been very protective. We want to be sure that the player is right before they come in. So I think we'll reward a non-contracted player at the moment at some point. Keep our eyes what's going on across the league, because I know the league very well. I know a lot of players, and I know a lot of teams probably still got some moves to make. And we keep an eye on players that we may sign halfway through the season.
Mark, Ali just said the struggles at home were a thing of the past. What, if you addressed that? I mean, obviously it's before you got here, but is that something that was ever on your mind, or that you'll think about? Or?
No. I think last year in the club that I coached, we were very good at home. We were a bit dodgy on the road. The year before, we were very good away on the road and okay at home. For me, it starts with being focused on what you look like as a team, home or away, your tactical preparation and your focus to achieving the targets that you want to achieve in each game. That's first. Then there's the psychological part. You know, if there is a drop off home or away, what's going on with the players individually, what's going on as a group that we can affect. So I got a great feeling this place will be a fortress in the support, but a fortress on the pitch. We're going to see an energy, a tenacity, a work ethic at home as good as anywhere else in the league, because this is what the players has been right through them from the beginning. They've talked about that. They want to make sure they give everything and not leave a bit of energy on this pitch when we play at home.
From your experience coming in here, what was it? Other players get up to playing from the big ground too. Is that part of the psychological part of? Yeah,
there is that challenge. I mean, when I was the opposition coach, I circled this game. You know, I circled and couldn't wait to come and play in Portland, because it's an amazing atmosphere. But we have to play to our strengths. I was against it last year. I was here with Washington in the last game of the season. The fans were incredible. The players in the team played an intensity, energy, and us at that time on the opposition side, we couldn't even get a second to breathe. And I felt like that's how it should be when you're at home with your fans. We want to be a team that doesn't let other teams settle, don't get in their rhythm. We want to do that home and away. We have to do it at home. This comes back to your tactical preparation, how you defend, how you make life hard for the opposition. And then making sure that you settle quickly and find rhythm and play the soccer that you want to play.